At the time when I'm writing this, there's only 2 episodes left to go of Hirogaru Sky before we move on to Wonderful in February. This means that, barring any 11th hour power-ups, which I am still hoping for, we've seen every magical transformation this season has to offer. Since transformation sequences are one of my favorite aspects of this genre, I thought it would be fun to go through and rank them, worst to best. And as always, these are just my opinions. If you disagree, I'd be delighted to hear your list in the comments. There are 7 transformations I'll be ranking, so let's begin. Starting with number 7, my least favorite is Cure Noble's transformation. Of course, since she's a legendary cure and not one of the main 5 cures, it's a miracle that we got any transformation for her at all, so I'm grateful for that. However, it is still very short, and it isn't nearly as dynamic as the others. Her entire outfit appears all at once without much flair. I do really like the coiling animation on her hair though, and the wings that appear to form her headpiece. Still, it wasn't enough to save her from the lowest spot. Number 6 is Cure Pumpkin, another transformation I can't believe exists. More so than Noble, actually, since this guy isn't even an actual cure. He's just Battamonda pretending to transform into a Precure, which is why it's so surprising that this thing is almost a whole minute long. Not only that, but it's surprisingly dynamic, his little waist frill thing and cape being good examples. Also, that scene of him biting the glove was so unnecessary, and I'm not sure whether to add or deduct points for it. I saw so many screenshots of that after this episode came out. The transformation itself is surprisingly good for a gimmick, but it's not good enough to beat out the main 5 cures. Number 5 is Cure Prism. She still has the basic strengths of the season's transformations as a whole. The music and pacing are great, but her sequence in particular just seems to be lacking something. There's not really anything in her transformation that sticks out to me as anything creative or new. No single moment of her transformation that I'm always excited to see. In fact, I'm always disappointed when they show her gloves appearing in the group transformations, because it always felt like there was an impact missing there, and it leaves me wishing someone else had gotten that segment. Plus, nothing against her, but for quite a bit of the season, the end of the sequence when it shows off her outfit in those panels, they were static instead of moving like everyone else's. It just feels like not as much care was put into hers as it was the others. I'm sorry, Prism. Your character design is still really good. Number 4 belongs to Cure Majesty. Mid-season cures sometimes have standout transformations with new and exciting bits that the rest of the cures didn't get, and they didn't do that with her. It's fine, really. It is a good transformation, and I do enjoy it, but it's not much more than just good. There's nothing about it that disappoints me exactly, but whenever I think of her transformation, all I remember is her ear cuffs. Because if there's one thing I love about her transformation, it's her gosh darn spiky ear cuffs. They're so shiny and I love seeing them, but it's the only standout thing about her sequence. All 3 of the cures above her in my list have more than one point that I love, so she gets stuck here. Number 3 is Cure Sky, our lead for this season. Her transformation was the first one everyone got to see, and when I saw it, I loved it. Honestly, I really still do. I love that she flips when her hair changes. I love how powerful and well animated her jumps are when she's leaping around. I love that every single burst of magic feels like it has an impact. And I love, love, love her cape. I was so excited to see it in her transformation when I first saw her character design, and I was not disappointed. And while she's great, there are still 2 that managed to top her sequence for me. Number 2 is Cure Wing, our first boy cure in the main team, and he comes out swinging with a fantastic transformation sequence. You can tell they really put their all into this one to make it memorable. I have a feeling a lot of people on the team were just as excited for him as we were, and wanted to make it count so that we could get even more characters like him in the future. I think they did it. Everything about his transformation just has such energy to it. Wing himself moves so much, so quickly and excitedly, and his thumbs up when he says hop is one of the best things. Plus, him flying around at the end with the magic trail behind him. Chef's kiss, it's a great transformation for such a historic cure. My number 1 transformation this season belongs to Cure Butterfly. She may not be the leader, but she sure is pink. Her sequence is just... it's so fun. Every single element about it makes me excited, which fits her character quite well, actually. It's the way the magic ripples over her hair, the neat perspective they play with her feet and her hands, the butterflies made out of energy that become butterflies on her outfit. It's great. It's just great. Not to mention, all of the main team wink at the end of their transformation, but I'll say it, Ageha did it best. She's cute and she knows it, and that confidence carried over into her transformation. Though placing some at the bottom is the nature of a ranking like this, I don't dislike any of these transformations. Overall, Hirogaru Sky has been a really strong season for them, and I hope to everything that this trend continues into wonderful. Precure in general is one of the best places to go for transformations, and no matter what the seasons look like, I'm glad they've kept up with that at the very least. Until next time!